what's interesting. When you look at who sits on the House Intel Committee, they all unanimously voted to release the Democratic rebuttal. But only the Republicans wanted that first memo out. The Dems did not. So why didn't the Democrats on the House Intel Committee, like the Republicans, why didn't they want transparency?
Yeah, a good question. We all want transparency on the Republican side. Shoot, I asked Christopher Wray 8 weeks ago in the Judiciary Committee hearing to release the application so we can all see the application itself and redact what you have to redact, but let us see what they actually took to the court. So transparency is a good thing. I'm all for the Democrat memo coming out. It's following the same process that the Republican memo followed last week.
How much of the Democrat 10-page rebuttal memo do you think would have to be redacted because there's secret stuff in there?
Yeah, I think there's some. You know, I'll leave that up to the experts to figure out. But it needs to go through the exact same process, and that's what the committee is doing. I appreciate the way Chairman Nunes has handled this. So it'll go through the same process, and then it'll get public, and the American people can look at it, which is what we want to have happen.
Congressman, the second dossier that we're just learning about through the Senate, through Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley, what's the most alarming thing to you when you learn about the details?
Well, it's the names we keep hearing are Sidney Blumenthal and Cody Shearer. People have been around the Clintons forever as being a part of this. But I also think it's kind of interesting because what it looks like is they paid Steele to put together the dossier. Then they told him what to put in it. Talk about rigging the game and putting together a document that's going to serve your purposes as an opposition research document. That's what it looks like the Clinton team did. And then when you see names like Sidney Blumenthal coming up, I mean, this is the same guy. We deposed this guy. During the Benghazi committee hearings. This guy has been around the Clintons forever. He was knee deep in the whole Libya Benghazi story, particularly the story where they weren't square with the American people about what was the actual catalyst of that attack, and they tried to blame it on a video. So I find that all interesting, particularly that they hire Steele to produce the dossier, then they're actually telling him what to put in the dossier, and then they're leaking that to the press. I mean, come on, that's not how it's supposed to work.
And then saying that there was Russian collusion on his part, when meanwhile they're the ones that are sending this British spy into Russia to pull information that hasn't been proven. And
that final work product, this is where we come right back to the memo last week. That final work product, that dossier, was taken to a secret court to get a secret warrant to spy on a fellow citizen, and they weren't clear with the court who paid for it, what was involved with it, and the fact that they had already fired Chris Steele from any type of relationship with the FBI because he broke a fundamental trust. He went to the press and told them he was working with the FBI, and yet they still used his work product, this dossier. That's what's so ridiculous about how they handled this and why that memo last week from the Republicans was so important that the American people see.
Congressman, it sounds like you would like to have the transcripts or whatever records
yes.
From the FISA proceedings released. I know Devin Nunes would like to. I haven't heard from any Democrats saying, yeah, let's release that stuff